Up to 3.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to our Friday night D&D sessions. We had a week off last week, but we are back again with the full team, no doubt. It feels so good. Thank you, Tiberius, for buying all these +1s for everybody. I appreciate that.
I just got one.
Yeah, Tabletop Junkie, just mouse over the stream. You'll find over on the right side the purple heart, and you can slap down a couple free stickers. You can donate bits for global stickers, and if you subscribe, you get channel exclusive stickers. But what is up, everybody? Welcome to the God Mode channel for our Friday night D&D session. This is our chaotically weird campaign, PERPLEXELLEL. I am JSO / the wizard / the DMG, and whatever you want to call me. Who else is joining me this fine Friday evening? And before you express yourselves, I just want to point out, we don't have Maz's cam up top, but Maz is with us. So it says that she's missing, but she is here. So I'm happy to have her with us. Who else is with us this fine Friday evening?
Hey everybody, it's Luke, and as per usual, I am playing Domo, Hobgoblin Warlord, simple as.
What's up? My name's Kevin, and I'm playing MUSA, just your normal little girl.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Slim, and I'll be playing Flash, a kobold, lowbard, DJ, and lost in the metaverse.
Hey, I'm Kyle playing Harper, multiverse rouge rock star of the new sound, cursed to traverse the omniverse, but you can call me verse.
Nice.
Hey guys, it's me, Amanda. I'm playing Six, the Harengon Barbarian.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I'm playing VYSE. Like monk, like actor, like I do stuff, like my own stunts. I got a jetpack from MUSA too.
Yeah.
And then Maz, did you tell us who you're playing? I mentioned you were here, but if you haven't already told us.
Sorry, I turned my mic off for a second. Hi, I'm Maz. I'm playing Tali, the kalashtar druid.
I just don't want to forget you, Maz, because I did once, and I will never again let that happen.
He still thinks about that.
It haunts me in my dreams, Maz.
Sorry, bro.
Thank you for the resub, Kevino. Appreciate that. Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you so much. This is session 18 of PERPLEXELLEL. A couple quick table keeping notes before we dive into tonight's session. As always, I always want to mention them, point them out, give them some love, and rep them. Huge thank you to our character artists for this campaign's character art for both the party characters as well as many of the NPC art you see in the game. So thank you so much, Peachy Yuri and Iruichi. I've slapped their links into the chat. Go follow them. Those are their Twiddle handers. Make sure and go just give them a follow, give them some love. And sometimes they are open and available for commission. So if you want some excellent art to be created by them, make sure to go check them out. Also, the music, especially for this campaign, brought to you by Tabletop Audio, Scott Buckley, and Radiarch. Radiarch has been bringing some fucking jamming tunes these past couple sessions. So just huge appreciation, Radiarch, for letting people credit you and use your stuff. It's amazing. We use Twitch channel points here in the channel, so as you are hanging out with us, even if you're just lurking, you're building up those points. You can see how many you have in the bottom left of the chat. Next to that purple weird bit icon, you can click on that and see all the kinds of cool different rewards you can use that are pretty much all exclusive to our Friday night D&D campaigns. As you see, Tiberius has bought a bunch of +1s for everyone, but you can do cool stuff like buy that inspiration. You can activate the weird and stuff like that, which hasn't been functioning the past couple sessions, but perhaps in a place as strange as the Far Realm, the weirdness of the weird energies may be functioning again. So check out all those rewards. You get boosted points, as I was saying, for being a subscriber, and if you follow the channel, you'll get an immediate boost to your Twitch channel points. We also use, as you probably have been hearing them slapped everywhere, our Twitch stickers. The stream stickers. If you want to mouse over the stream, over on the right side, you'll see that purple heart and slap some down yourself. We don't use the D&D Beyond plugin anymore because it doesn't work particularly for our stream and probably some others. They're working on something new eventually, and as I was mentioning before, I'll keep you up to date if they announce any new news on that front. That is pretty much it. I'm gonna run our intro, and while I do that, I'm gonna have the players well, actually, I'm just gonna hand out inspiration, and then when we come back from that, finish off handing off inspiration, and then I'll do the recap since we missed last week, and I'll try and give us a clear vision as possible to dive back in. So let me roll that, and then we will be right back, everybody.
You can get rid of that.
Okay, I'll drop this
Because
one.
I had MUSAs, so I gave her the choice to pick the one that I was holding or the one she was holding.
Yeah, good point. Okay. Good thinking, because I forgot to ask if you guys wanted to trade or not. All right, cool. I have handed out inspiration. Those of you who don't know, I don't hand out inspiration mid-game because not that I don't want to reward players for like great roleplay and stuff. I just have a really bad memory, so I have opted to, in our homebrew games, just hand out inspiration up at the front every session if the players don't already have one. The only exception being if you buy them an inspiration with your Twitch channel points, they get to hold on to that one as well, even if that's the only way that they can build past one. So that's a good way to reward them if you would like. So let me give the recap from what happened last time, since it's a little hazy. Whenever you miss a week of D&D and come back, it feels like 700 years have passed. So last time on PERPLEXELLEL, Lexe explained to the party that Heximal Zero has left the prime reality in shambles after killing and absorbing nearly all life within it. Although she was able to trick Heximal Zero into a false sleep, the unlucky Seven will still need to find a way to kill it permanently. Lexe mentions that she's been studying the data gathered from the kalashtar named Kalypso, who initially discovered the creature in a place called the Far Realm. Lexe plans to travel there in the hopes that there will be some means of stopping Heximal that they can discover while they are there. While each of the party attempted to use their suits to teleport into the Far Realm, they were suddenly pulled elsewhere. Stuck in a strange, dark void world, they are attacked by a strange humanoid figure and a monstrous worm-like creature that it rides. The party buys Lexe time while engaging it so that they can devise a way for the suits to escape the strange hold this place has on them. She eventually succeeds, and they're able to teleport into the Biblioteca in the Far Realm. The party is surprised to find that the Biblioteca resembles any standard library from their worlds, other than the floating purple worms and detached eyeballs, that is. Determined to find a being known as the Archivist, the Unlucky Seven, which is the party's name, press on deeper, hoping that the Archivist will be able to provide a way for the party to destroy Heximal once and for all. As they began to descend a set of circling stair steps down to a deeper level into the Biblioteca, all still marching in lockstep order, the party eventually found themselves standing in a hallway of books, and as each of them looked behind each other, found themselves alone. And that is where we will start things off.
Oh, good.
You mean in hell? No one's looking at me. This is terrible.
Let's see here. Let's do this.
Man,
Domo!
the cat is planking.
Love it.
Yes.
Baby.
Any of the lights, sources of lights that was with the party previously is now gone. However, I believe you have some form of
I do have low light.
low light vision. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Does that let you see if things were to be completely dark?
I don't remember. It's actually been a while since I've played a character with low light vision. Hold on, let me actually click on the thing. It'll tell me. Oh no, I have dark vision. I'm low light vision's 4E.
Okay.
Old habits die hard. Yeah, it lets me see in darkness as if it were dim light.
All right. So the area around here is not only devoid of your party members, but also devoid of any light sources it had. Luckily for you, your special vision allows you to still see some amount of low light around you, and you.
I got 10 torches. I'll crack one just in case. Quickly realizing that I'm alone, thanks to the fuckery of this place.
Yeah. So you whip one out and get it lit as you peer around and notice that you are within a narrow hallway, flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that stretch all the way up into a pitch darkness above you. No longer are any bookcases visible. It is just rows, columns and columns pushed together of stacked books. Papers litter the floor around you. There's a musty, strange smell in the air. Behind you is nothing but a dead end covered with more columns of books. None of these books that you see around you appear to have any type of titles on the spines.
Well, I'm not about to pick one up after what happened last time. I'm just gonna say it. This is the worst library I've ever been to.
And Domo is gonna call out down the hallway and see if, I don't know, maybe we got separated somehow. I'm just gonna call out,
Hello? Is any of you lot out there?
You call this out looking further down the other end of the hallway that's not the dead end. And how far out does your vision allow you to see?
I think it's 60 feet.
Okay.
Because I don't think the torch goes further than that.
Okay. So it's still...
it doesn't.
The light of the torch doesn't touch it, but using your dark vision, you're still able to see the low light beyond that. And directly straight ahead of you, about 40, maybe 45 feet, in the middle of the narrow passageway between the columns of books, is a flat, rectangular shape draped with a black fabric. The bottom of it appears to billow subtly, despite there being no wind that you feel in this room.
Okay.
Past the covered rectangle, you said 60 feet?
60 feet, yes.
Yeah, like right at the edge of your sight where you can see, probably about that full 60 feet out. At the end of the narrow hallway, past this object in the middle of the walkway that still looks like it would have room to walk by, although it would be a little bit of you'd almost have to, like turn sideways to pass. Beyond that, you can at least kind of turning your head to look past the object, you can see that there is a door sort of set against the far end of the hallway against other stacks of books. It appears to be the only visible means out of this passage.
Okay, so I got the creepy billowy rectangle and a door leading out behind it in the narrow hallway. Okay.
Correct.
Do I think the thing is alive? Domo doesn't know much or anything about the far realm.
You could make some type of check if you'd like.
Investigate?
Sure.
22. What kind of vibes is this billowy black cloak giving me?
This from the look of it with your investigation check, this black fabric is covering something that looks like it's rectangularly shaped and looks pretty flat. You do see the slight shifting of the bottom of this black fabric that seems to be just kind of swaying, even though there's not really a wind. But it doesn't appear to you like this thing is necessarily alive in any way.
Well, if I were to take a guess, it's probably not a good idea to look under that sheet. But, on the other hand, I am pretty curious what's under there. All right, Domo. Come on, think about this. All right, I'll peek under the sheet a little, And if there's something bad under there, I just won't look at anything anymore. I'll learn my lesson this time. Because there could be anything under that sheet. There could even be a door out of here.
And Domo will, like, very cautiously approach the sheet and do that thing where she extends her arm and tries to, like, pick up at the corner of it.
You begin to approach this tall rectangular shape that is covered in this black fabric. At about 30 feet out, you see, slowly shifting from the sides of the rectangular object, are two large yet emaciated hands that grip the sides of the rectangular, whatever this is, covered in this fabric. It grips the fabric and pulls away the shroud. As this fabric drops to the floor, you can now see that the object is a full body mirror, positioned to point in your direction. The image through the mirror appears hazy at this distance, but you can tell it is not a reflection of yourself or what you see around you. You see that the hands at the sides grip the full body mirror. Whatever they are attached to is still obscured behind the mirror itself.
Okay, and I can't quite see what's in the mirror right now, right?
Not from this distance. It appears too hazy, too out of focus.
All right, Domo is now that she knows that there is a mirror under here, she doesn't want anything to do with it. I have Domo. I don't know why Domo thinks to do this, but she has a little steel mirror that she's had with her this whole time that she bought forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Domo wants to not look at the big scary mirror and instead look through the little steel mirror to see where she's going and try to just move around the gross, creepy hand mirror if she can.
Okay.
Because that seems super sketch. Domo feels like she's gonna fall into that big creepy hand mirror if she looks in it herself.
Okay, so are you like, how are you walking with this hand mirror?
Let's say like man, how do I describe this without like through a camera, right? So like, let's say she's kind of like crab walking, like not facing the mirror, but using her little steel.
Just looking over that, positioned
to like,
at the hallway. Okay.
Yeah.
That paints a good picture.
In her other hand, she has the torch.
Okay. So you're doing like a crab walk, diverting your attention away from the large mirror in the middle of the narrow passageway, looking through your smaller hand mirror that's pointed more towards like one of the edges, the sides of the mirror that you
like,
could walk past.
She tried to read a book and almost went insane. I don't think a mirror is high on her list of things to look at here.
Table Talk Junkie says, loving this. You continue to crab walk, keeping the reflection through your hand mirror made sure to point away from whatever may be in the mirror beyond. At about 20 feet away, because you can still see like maybe the frame of the mirror itself, but not what's reflected in it. At about 20 feet away, you begin to hear a voice coming from behind the full body mirror.
Oh, good.
You can still see in the reflection of your own hand mirror one of the two large bony hands still gripping tight at the sides as you hear, "You did this. You did this."
I don't know what I did, pal, but I'm getting out of here as soon as I can. Just stand your creepy reflective ass to one side and let me go through.
Domo doesn't want to look at the mirror.
Continue to approach. You are about 10 feet away from passing the precipice of where the mirror would be reflecting, and you can actually pass behind it. About 10 feet away, you hear the voice again, a hoarse cackle. You can also hear a sound beginning to fill one of your ears. It sounds like buzzing, like a fly nearby.
Okay. Domo is undeterred. I don't want to look at the mirror. I feel like this is a trap. Domo learned to not trust this place after she read the book, and very quickly she'll try to like scuttle past the mirror altogether if she can.
You reach the threshold of where the mirror is, and you begin to pass. Do you continue to look ahead towards the doorway at the far end, or are you trying to take a peek at what may be behind the mirror?
I was gonna say that. Is the mirror turning to face me, or is it still pointing down the hallway?
Still pointing straight down the hallway, has not moved. Right. So unless you try to largely divert your eyesight, you may see what is behind the mirror as you pass it. So
I think what Domo will try to do is she's going to keep crab walking with her back to whatever this horrible thing is, because Domo's pretty brave. But she's also very curious. I think once I'm 10 feet behind, I'm going to turn towards the door and see if I can see what was behind the mirror using my mirror that I'm holding, the little mirror, the not creepy mirror.
Okay. You pass by the threshold of the mirror. You hear deep breathing, and now the sound of a multitude of flies are buzzing around your ears. You keep your attention averted and continue to press on. You can see the door now. The door at the far end, not connected to any walls or anything. It just appears to be a door frame and a door itself. Behind that are just like another dead-end stack of books. But you press on, and about 10 feet away from the door now, you kind of do that thing where you have your back turned, but you like hold up your hand mirror to peer in to see whatever that thing was that was behind the mirror. And as you do, you see that what that thing is now standing 5 feet behind you. You see the grotesque husk of what was once a GIF. Their hippo-like gray flesh has sunken into their humanoid skeletal form. They have no eyes, just black pits. It appears to wear some form of round helmet and fatigues that loosely sit on its body, similar to that of the Pioneer patrollers. Parts of their skin in various places have either caked up or is completely missing, revealing nothing but exposed bone. As you quickly notice this right behind you, you hear a whisper in your ear. We depended on you. And I need you to please make me an intelligence saving throw.
Okay, not terrible, but also not the best. Do I want to use?
Yes, you do.
Inspiration this early? It's
yes.
Like the beginning of the session.
You got the +1 also.
You are the only one that can solve your problem right now.
Yeah, that is very true. I'm gonna blow my inspiration.
Okay, fair enough.
Ooh, God.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just used to it. At this point. It's fine. Yeah, I'll spend a +1 for an 11. I don't think it'll matter. Wait. Oh, I don't have. No, I can't save face because I don't have any allies nearby. No, my one trump card to mitigate my bad rolls. Hold on, let me see. I might have.
I can fix that.
Tactical assessment is a check, not a save. Damn it. Yeah, 11.
Okay, Mama Bear, I'm gonna go ahead and give you. He can't use it now, Mama Bear, but you're gonna get a reload of your inspiration here from
thank you. Look at that,
thank you.
Mama Bear.
Use in the future there. I will now ask for you to go ahead and roll me a D100, please.
Oh no, that's an insanity roll. I know what that is.
Are we playing Call of Cthulhu again? You have to tell us if we're playing Call of Cthulhu again. Otherwise, it's entrapment.
Yes.
Oh God, I wasn't prepared.
Will you also roll me a D10, please?
It gets worse.
4.
Domo, maybe you've been sharing some words under your breath to yourself as you pass along through here, just almost pep talking yourself through. But now, as you are trying to sputter out what few words you can, seeing this thing behind you, the words that are escaping your mouth seem to be just nothing but blabber. It's just incoherent babbling. You are incapable of normal speech or spell casting for the next 4 minutes.
No, 40 minutes?
4 minutes.
Hours? 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah, Domo freaks out and immediately runs towards the door as fast as she can.
What does that sound like?
Bloody fucking fuck shit!
It's just like meaningless Tourette's, like stream of consciousness.
You run up to the door, Domo, and I'm assuming you're going to try and open it.
Oh yeah, she'll like full body try to like slam into the door if she can.
You do so, like throwing a shoulder up at it as you also try and like grab at the knob and turn it. And as you do, the door swings open, and you find yourself falling into complete darkness.
Nice. Bye. Like zoinks.
Zoinks.
Zoinks. Let's see here.
Next victim.
Oh no.
Oh man.
6.
Yeah.
You were with the party in this biblioteca, this library or archive, if you will, full of structured books on various bookcases. All of you, including Lexe as well as your brother Seven, you're attempting to find this being known as the Archivist. As I pointed out in the recap, this place looks relatively normal and similar to what you would see in the mortal realm. However, as you descended down this spiraling staircase, as you look around, you notice that not only are your friends gone, but whatever sources of light they were carrying has dissipated. You now stand in complete darkness. Also, I know you and Maz missed last session, so if you guys have any questions about where you're at or anything, I'll be happy to fill you in. But right now, you don't see anything. What would you like to do?
I have a torch and a tinderbox in my backpack. I would like to take that out.
Whip out your torch and crack the cinder box out and light one up and find yourself lighting up your torch, giving you a view of the area. You find yourself standing in a narrow hallway flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that stretch all the way up into the darkness above. Papers litter the floor. There's a musty, strange smell in the air. Behind you is nothing but a dead end covered with more books. None of these books around you also notice, have any sort of titles or anything on their spines. Up ahead of you, the narrow hallway continues probably 30 or so feet before taking what looks like a 90 degrees turn to the left.
I don't even like books. Useless junk. Just a question.
Sure.
Hypothetically, do the books look flammable?
They I mean, they look like, from no checks, they look like completely normal paper,
Look like books.
some hardcover books, yes.
Okay. Is there anything behind me?
It is a dead end that just ends with more of these like columns of like stacked together books.
Okay. She's gonna go forward and take that, what'd you say, left turn?
Yeah, it's like a 90-degree turn to the left. As you begin to head that way and take a turn, it appears to be that the narrow hallway continues, probably another 30 or so feet before taking a right.
Does the hallway look like it's getting more narrow, or is it?
Looks like it's the same distance apart. It's probably about 15 feet wide.
She's gonna keep going, but she's gonna go carefully.
Okay. Stealthily, by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll if you're trying to be stealthy as you go. Maybe a little difficult with a bright torch in your hand, but they'll let you give me a roll.
I'll add a +1.
All right.
21's
not bad. Okay. So you continue beginning to turn at the end of this hallway, but going slow, somewhat pensively, and trying to maybe not crouch, but just kind of stay a little lower to the ground to try and not disturb whatever may be in this strange place of whatever this far realm is. There's another hallway or two that you go down, and at some point, probably a minute in, you begin to get the sense that maybe this is some type of like labyrinthian style maze. You turn one more corner and something begins to feel strange. You feel like a hair in the back of your throat and find yourself coughing. You cough something up that spills onto the floor, and as you look down, you see that it is blood, not a hairball. As this happens, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
You hear the sound of footsteps, and turning around the corner up ahead of you is Seven, who is kind of notices that you're hacking and coughing, and kind of runs over and says, "Hey, you all right?"
I don't feel so good. I think it's all these dusty books.
You see Seven look around, and they too kind of cough a little bit. What the fuck is happening in this place? You think there's something in the air?
No idea. She takes out her tankard of plenty, tries to wash it down.
All right. You take a sip from that. You also see Seven as they kind of cough into their hands. You watch as they use the morphic liquid nature of their suit to like bring their mask back up over their face to maybe cover whatever strangeness may be in the air here. They turn to you after you finish taking a swig and swallowing. You seen anyone else yet?
Haven't seen anybody. You?
No. How the hell did we even get separated? We were like 2 feet away from each other.
No idea, man. I've been confused for the last whole day.
You, have any idea for how we could maybe get out of here?
Well, I don't know much about these, maze things, but, you know, if you can't follow the maze, maybe you go through the walls?
I suppose we could try.
Six is going to take her warhammer and try to, like, punch a hole through this, like, wall of books.
Make me an attack roll.
I'm gonna add a 1. 15.
All right. You easily strike into a couple stacks of the nearby books at the side. You hear the sound of them being thrown, pages of the books torn as you just kind of swing away into them. 3 of the columns that you have made contact with just like collapse and topple over away from you. And as they topple over, you watch as the tops of the stacks sort of just continue to fall. And behind that, all you see is black. Nothing else.
Six is gonna hold her torch up, like, closer to the blackness and just see if she can see anything.
You hold your torch out into the darkness, And you can still see the last hints of a few books that appear to be falling past this point from where you knocked the stacks away. They quickly disappear into darkness far below. Other than that, around you can see nothing else discernible.
That's not good. What about you, Seven? You have any ideas?
Well, I punched a whole bunch of books myself when I first got here. But there is just more books behind them, so I didn't want to say anything. I figured we'd just punch more books, that'd be fun.
Great minds think alike. It's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we keep moving, maybe eventually we'll get out of here, right?
Well, I don't think we have many options. Is Six still, like, coughing up blood?
There's still that tickle in the back of your throat and the occasional slight cough, but you don't appear to be coughing blood anymore.
Okay. Before she goes, she's gonna make a perception check and just see if she can, like, sense anybody or anything around them.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oreo's in the way. I can't see my screen.
Come on, Oreo.
That's an 18.
With an 18, it's strange. You can't discern where, but the hair on the back of your Harengon neck seems to just sort of be standing up slightly. You get this weird sense that somewhere, something or some things are watching you.
This place creeps me out.
That makes two of us, Seven says.
We better get a move on, I guess, and she's just gonna continue following the path.
All right. You and Seven collectively continue to head down these sort of winding, turning, labyrinthian style, narrow passageways that appear to be created for you. About another 2 or so minutes in, things begin to get strange for you. You feel a disconnect with your legs. It's almost hard to walk. You almost topple over. As you peer around, you notice that the books on these stacks everywhere around you begin to bend and droop. It looks almost as if some of them are melting, as if they're made of wax. See, Seven.
I might have drank a little too much.
Yeah, Seven is like 10 feet ahead of you and turns around and sees that you're having a little tough time and begins to step over. Looks like you're still always lagging behind me, they say as they kind of take one of your arms and put it over their shoulder and kind of throw a hand over your shoulder.
When they get close to me, I'm gonna use my little rabbit nose and see if they seem familiar, if they smell familiar.
Yeah, your rabbit nose kind of shoots up and down as you sniff. They smell very familiar.
Okay. Bullshit. I was saving your ass plenty of times.
Yeah, maybe, Seven says as he continues to help you along. You still feel this slight unease, this disconnect with your coordination, but with the help of Seven, you're able to push along. Eventually, Seven turns to you and says, "Look, I know we haven't exactly had the time to play catch-up, but if we make it out of this whole thing alive, we should talk about some things."
Okay, like how you got sucked into a weird vortex and I didn't see you for years?
Stuff
Those
like
things?
that, yeah.
Okay.
You
Sounds good.
continue to press on. About another 3, maybe 5 minutes. Time is getting more difficult to tell. The books around you still look like they're drooping more. You can almost see puddles on the floor of like a weird mixture of still what looks like paperish texture, but in a almost liquid-like pool. Seven turns to you again and says, "So, hey, what if something happened to you? Like, if you couldn't make it out of here alive, do you think maybe your new friends would let me take your place?"
Take my place? What the hell are you talking about?
You stare at Seven's mask and watch as now the mask itself, as he just stares at you without saying anything, begins to melt away. Underneath, as it begins to drip and drop away, instead of seeing Seven's face, you see your own face staring back at you. Also, does an unnatural 20 hit your AC?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
As you see this sight, you staring back at yourself, you hear the sound of a crunch, and you feel a stinging pain in the back of your... stinging pain in your back as you find yourself toppling to the floor.
What the hell, Seven? What's going on?
You watch as this Seven wearing your face is pulling from your body a throwing axe from your back. You watch as blood begins to pull around you. You feel like you're losing sensation in your limbs. Everything around you just continues in this progressive, rapid state to melt away. Seven now stands over you, wearing your own face, a distorted, toothy grin worn on it. You watch as Seven begins to melt, standing over you, pelting you with what comes off. Please make me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, we'll be using an advantage for that. I'm gonna add a +1, 16.
With a 16, I can get rid of this card on the screen, right?
Yeah, that's what I just used.
With a 16, you find your mind frazzled as everything seems to melt away in your mind. Everything surrounding you begins to fade into blackness. But you did pass your save.
It doesn't sound very good. Oh, Lord.
Let's do this.
Congratulations, you've died.
Yeah.
Has failed successful.
You've died relatively painlessly. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was frightening.
Flash,
What's up?
God damn it.
I believe you have dark vision.
I do 60 feet.
Does that give you low light vision like Domo?
Yeah.
So things are not particularly well lit here, but you're still able to see like a low lit room here. You find yourself somehow removed from the others by yourself, standing in a narrow hallway flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that stretch all the way up into the darkness above. Papers litter the floor. As you breathe in, there's a musty, strange smell in the air. Behind you is nothing but a dead end covered with more columns of books. None of these books appear to have titles on the spine. As you peer back up ahead, you see a regular-looking wooden door that just stands in the middle of a round, open space created from the stacks of books. What do you do?
Oh man, I think I'm back on Neogokyo. It's one of those Maester nerd labs.
You say to yourself.
Say it out loud. Gonna like try to wipe my eyes and like try to collect my thoughts and just look around the room for a minute and see if I see any light under the door.
There is no light that you see coming from underneath the door.
And I'm gonna check and make sure all my stuff's on me and slowly start walking towards the door.
Yeah, you look down and check your packs. It looks like everything is still on you, the Hexi suit, all of your gear and items. Nothing appears to be missing other than the fact that the other party members have somehow vanished. You begin to make your way towards this strange black door. The frame itself just stuck in the middle of this open space, this kind of encircled area created by the stacks of books, and you stand at the front of it.
Just gonna pause for a minute and then reach for the knob and go to open it.
You find, as you turn the knob, that the door is unlocked, and as you open it, you see nothing inside but darkness.
Look back behind me and look around the room and then look back into the door frame again.
Nothing appears to have changed from your initial inspection.
Gonna do that thing where you kind of like blindly put a foot forward to see if there's anything ahead of me.
Yeah, you try to make sure it just doesn't like drop you into nothingness. As you put a foot out and try to press it down in the inky darkness where the same level of elevation of floor you're currently standing on is, you find that there is in fact some type of solid ground despite you not being able to see it.
I'm gonna take another step forward, or take a step forward into there, and I'm gonna, I've got candles part of my pack. I'm gonna light one, just so I can get a little bit of extra light and
So you're gonna like step inside and kind of light up one of these candles?
Yeah.
Okay, you step inside through the door frame and you begin to work out one of your candles and give it a light with a tinder box. As you're pulling out those things, the door behind you shuts and you find yourself in complete darkness. Go to light the candle nearby you, and as you do, you see the flame on the tinderbox light up, but as you go to touch it towards the wick of the candle, it immediately goes out. You are in pitch darkness, although you are still standing somehow, and as you notice this happen, up ahead of you, a small light flickers on above, just in front of you, probably 5 or so feet up from some unknown source. You find yourself actually now seated in a darkened version of the same DJ booth that you used to broadcast from in your original reality. Across from you, about 15, maybe 20 feet away, a similar low light flickers on, revealing what looks like a duplicate booth to the one that you're in. An illusory red arcane script reading "On Air" floats above a figure seated at the mirrored table. You can see that although the lighting doesn't reveal their face, their exposed chin is a scaly yellow similar to yours. A raspy voice echoes around you as the figure begins to move its jaw up and down, the words coming out not appearing to match up with the movements. And that was Love Like Unobtainium from Comet Steed on Neogokyo's #1 holovid and crystal comm sound station WTXT. This is your host Flash, and I've got an interesting caller on the line my producers have said have been dying to talk to me. Don't want to disappoint. Caller, What's your name and where are you from, brother? As he finishes, a red light illuminates above your head as you now see a similar on-air script float above you. The voice tube that you speak into now moves closer to your mouth.
Oh man, this is cool. I get to interview myself. I guess not a lot's on my mind, just where the heck I'm at.
You hear the other similar voice say, "Radical, man, digging the impersonation vibes. So, what brings you here to the Twixt?"
Not a whole lot anymore. Kind of looking for someone to pass my music down to. Maybe a couple more listeners to share a song or two to. That's about it, man. You want to hear a song?
Whoa, now, hang on just a second. You're starting to talk and sound a lot like me.
Yeah. The Warrens were kind of big. Maybe I got a brother.
You look a lot like me, too.
Yeah.
Look, sorry, my friend, but there's only one awesome broadcaster, and that's the kobold you hear talking to you right now. Anyone else, listeners, is just a cheap impersonator. Some poor bastard from another reality. You're talking to the original, baby. The best version of me there is. You're just a joke.
Now that's not very nice.
The light over your booth, the on-air, goes out. And now the only light source in this area comes from the doppelganger's table, as it says, "All right, we've already wasted too much time rambling with imitators today. But before I throw you over to our sponsors, my producers are mentioning there's one more call on the line and they're similarly dying to meet me. Caller, are you there?" they say. There's a scene now that lights up before you, flash in the darkness. Ahead of you, in front of both your table and the doppelgangers, is a vast rolling plain covered in yellowish orange wheat. Several small, out-of-focus buildings make up a small village beneath a night sky in the distance. A dark, blurry figure approaches the both of you, running towards you in what looks like slow motion. As they continue to approach, their image sharpens, and you can now make out that it's what looks like a female kinku in a dark robe and hood. She raises both hands up in the air, waving them back and forth in slow motion. There's a disturbing look of desperation on her face as she looks your way. You hear your doppelganger say, "Hello? Caller? Are you there?" She looks back to view the murky blur of the distance before turning to view you again. Her beak opens and she appears to say something, but there's no sound coming from her or the scene. "Gonna need to speak up, caller. Dead air isn't good for radio, you know." You notice, Flash, something begins to shift in the darkness behind her. The blur of the faint stars in the night sky begin to go out one by one as a massive shadow begins to overtake the distant village, stretching out towards the kinku across the plains of wheat. "Is something wrong, caller? What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong?" The doppelganger just continues to repeat this. You watch the female kinku as she looks towards you in abject fear. She begins fumbling a hand under her coat in slow motion, pulling out now what looks like a rectangular blackboard. Written out in chalk is the word "help" in large letters, their manner appearing to be drawn sloppy from haste. She stares deep into your eyes as she holds her sign with both hands towards you, continuing to open her beak with wordless desperation. Hey, what's wrong? Come on, tell me what's wrong. Just say something. Say anything. The shadow begins to overtake her, and now you can see in the sky a winding black silhouetted mass moving in closer with some form of twisted sentience. Several yellow eyes begin to appear on the silhouette, the last bit of starlight revealing a terrifyingly large maw that stretches across the entire sky itself, full of moving rows of teeth, like some kind of terrible grinder. The shadow closes in on the Kinku. You see her open her mouth in a silent scream, but the only sound that you can hear is your doppelganger. Hey, what's wrong? Flash, please give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh yeah. I guess I'll use. I have 2 cards, so I'll use one of them. Advantage.
Nice. Yoink.
And I only have 2 +1s. Do they carry over?
You keep as all the +1s. You can just only apply 1 to each roll.
Okay, then I'll throw 1 on it.
All right, 19 overall then?
Yep. As that happens, I do want to look at that and say, man, these new meat seltzer commercials are getting crazy.
You say this watching this terrifying scene. You watch the light above the desk of the doppelganger go out, the on-air sign fizzling, and the entire scene ahead of you, covered in dark. You find that the whole area around you, everything, goes completely black.
Man, even my doppelganger got taken down. This sucks.
All right. Let's do this. MUSA!
Oh.
Do you have your light on? You have like a way to emanate light or something, right?
That's my wand, Radiance.
Is that still on currently?
As long as I'm holding it.
Okay. So like nothing's happened other than you were descending the stairs with your teammates, pretty like lockstep one after the other in this narrow passage that winded arounding down a staircase. But now as things flatten out ahead of you, you see a row of books, and around you, your teammates are no longer there, despite some of them being in front of you. You're not sure how this happened. You're still able to see somewhat with this light on. This light gives up how much light? Like 10 feet?
5 feet.
Okay, so it's pretty hard to see. You can tell that you still appear to be in some sort of like narrow hallway, although it's flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that seem to stretch up pretty far where your light doesn't reach. You see papers that litter the floor, a musty smell in the air. Behind you, you can still see, since you're close to it, is a dead end covered with more books. None of them appear to have any titles on the spines. You're not sure what lies the other way, as it is too far out for you to see.
Oh, goodness. Hello, guys? Is anyone else there?
You call out. You hear no response.
Oh, I don't like this. This is... Okay, I actually do have a torch. So I'm gonna pull one out and just use a cantrip fireball to light it.
All right. You kind of like use your own tinderbox with a finger and just zap it as it quickly catches the light, and you have some more vision now. You can see that everything you previously saw, just with much more clarity with your torch out. And you can now actually see up ahead of you, not too far, probably at the edge of where your torch reaches in terms of the lighting. The path appears to take a 90 degrees turn to the right.
I want to do an Arcana check right off the bat, see kind of like what's around me immediately in my area.
Sure.
8. Great.
You detect extensive auras of magic from all around you, but any clarification on the schools or anything else slips through your fingers. You have no idea what this magic is.
Well, I look up. How high is the ceiling?
It appears to not end. The rows of books at the sides appear to just continue to go up and up into darkness. If there is a ceiling, you cannot perceive it with your torch.
I don't like this at all. Oh man. Reflexively, I'm actually also going to go ahead and cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay, very nice.
That will last like 8 hours, so.
Okay.
And then I guess, no other way to go but forward, I suppose. Gonna start moving. I'm gonna try to keep an eye out. You said there were no names on any of the books?
No titles, no any writing or even pictures or anything on the spines. They're completely blank.
While moving, I also just want to keep an eye out if I notice any book that has any writing on it. Any title,
okay. Okay. What's your passive perception if that's the case?
Not great. 10.
Okay. You kind of just keep your eyes peeled for anything that may strike you as some type of like title of a book on any of the spines or like any of the covers you see strewn about. Yeah. You press on, and as you come up to this 90-degree turn, you peer around the corner and see that it carries on for about 30 or so feet before turning in another direction.
Again. Alright, well, really? I guess I gotta just keep going. Hello?
You continue to call out, but there's no response.
Keep moving. Moving forward.
Okay. You continue moving forward. After a few turns through the narrow hallway created by these stacks of books, finally, after what is probably the 4th or 5th turn, find up ahead that the books actually give way to what looks like a tall, white wall. You see several glowing lines that run through it, giving it an uncanny resemblance to the walls from Lexe's laboratory deep under Neogokyo.
Oh, so this would be familiar. Do I remember, like, does this look like maybe a door possibly that I recognize how to open?
You know that in Lexe's lab, the door outlines would just sort of like appear, and then the wall itself would kind of shift out of the way.
I'm gonna go ahead and use an Arcana on the wall specifically.
Okay.
9.
A 9? That's okay.
9.
Even with a 9, you're still able to detect a stronger buildup of magic coming from close to the center, almost directly ahead of you from the wall itself.
I guess, maybe like an investigation if there's any sort of, I don't know, anything that sticks out on the wall, switches or crack.
Yeah, that's a
anything.
good thing, sure. I'll give you advantage, actually, since you used your Arcana first.
17, thank you.
Okay. So you go over to this area in the wall that you sense this surge of magic, and just kind of run your hands along the wall. You're not really sure. You're accustomed to the Mastermind's laboratories, but Lexe's was kind of unique in the almost complete abject clinical nature of it. It was very sterile, very white. But as your hands touch a portion of the wall, you see the area around your hand in like a hexagonal shape light up. And now you see an outline of a door frame that appears in front of you. And the interior of this white portion of the outline begins to shift away to the side, revealing a familiar white, featureless room like those seen in Lexe's labs. It's a relatively large room, probably 30 by 30 feet. You see in the center what look like a few toys on the ground. Some that actually you seem to recognize as things that you were given when you were first conscious. The genius consider them toys, but you've come to know them as problem-solving devices. There's like an abacus, a dragon chess pieces, several cards from a game called Talus, a few other things strewn in the center.
I thought I was never gonna be back here again. I walk in, do a quick perception, see if anything seems out of place or that's not, off, or something that wasn't normally there.
Sure.
Oh my god. 9?
Nothing stands out in this relatively featureless room other than toys in the center.
Our realm ensuring that we can't roll above a 5 at any time.
What's wrong with these fucking energies? Toys in quotations, of course.
I'll walk up to them, I guess. Goodness. I really lived with so little back then. I'll pick up the abacus and just sort of flick some of the things around and.
Yeah, this is an abacus made from like steel and metal instead of the kind of old school wood. You kind of flick the pieces, you hear the bounding sounds of the metal clank as one goes to the other. At the fourth click from one side to the other, you hear the sound of a child's laughter coming from ahead. As you look that way, you see what looks like the back of a version of yourself moving through another open doorway in the white wall leading to a different room. This version of you looks nearly identical, except their movement appears strange. Some sort of like after image trails off from them that slowly fades, giving them almost a dreamlike appearance.
Hey, wait, do you know how to get out of here? And I'll give chase.
You begin to run, trying to follow this other version of what appears to be yourself. And as you pass through the doorway, entering into a new room, you no longer see them anywhere. As you peer around, you notice that this room looks like it has the same appearance as Lexe's main laboratory in Zero reality. You see several of those floating glass panels that just float and orbit around the area here. That blurred copy of you, like I said, nowhere to be seen. The room appears to be empty.
Goodness, how do I get out of here? I guess I'll check out the pads, see if I can turn anything on or see.
Give me a Arcana check.
There it is.
MUSA confirm fear.
25.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
MUSA. Hang on just a second.
Oh, and actually, when I cast Mage Armor.
If you will roll me, please, a D3.
Two.
You feel your suit tighten as your pressure goes up by 4 points. As you are tapping at the glass, you also now see lighting up in red illusory script on the glass panel is the word failure. It appears on the one you're tapping, and then on another, and another. Now all of them have failure on them. You begin to hear more giggles. You can hear them coming from the right side of the room this time, and now you see another version of yourself slowly shifting into a new room, trailed by the same strange lingering afterimage. You still can't see their face from behind as they enter this new room.
Since I rolled a 20, does my suit abilities activate?
Your suit abilities would activate, that's correct.
Alright, so I get back a level 1 spell and immediately cast a random at-will spell you know. 1, 2. Oh, I just cast Mage Hand.
Good job.
Illusory hand appears in front of you.
Okay. What is going on? What do you guys want? She asked the doppelgangers.
They don't really seem to respond as they just continue to giggle and almost hop into the next room ahead of you.
What was happening on the pads? Was there anything? I'm sorry.
A red illusory text has been displayed on all of them that reads failure in common.
I already know. Leave me alone. I'll chase after the doppelgangers.
Okay. You kind of give chase to them again. Stepping through the threshold into this new room, the figure puzzling you is gone again, but you now stand in a hallway that stretches on into the distance. Flanking you on both sides, every 20 or so feet are large glass chambers. You can see inside that they are nearly completely filled with masses of what look like pinkish red flesh and muscle that push up against the glass.
Oh, gosh. What is this? Are there any, like, data pads or anything with the tubes?
Give me a perception check.
9.
You search for any type of like input or area where you could tap, maybe similarly to the glass panels. You don't see any. You kind of start searching the glass itself to see if it's interactive, tapping at it, kind of seeing the just fleshy masses behind them. As you go up to one to tap at it with a perception check, you notice that a portion of the flesh has shifted, revealing a slight look deeper inside. And in the darkness, you can see what looks like a disfigured version of your own face staring back at you.
I'll fall backwards, like fall down in shock.
As you do, you hear a loud buzz that fills your ears as your butt hits the ground. You now see the same failure in common displayed on the glass chambers. The sound of shifting metal can be heard as you watch the mass of flesh, not only in this one in front of you, but in each interior chamber all around, begin to slide down into whatever dark depths lies below. Sound of like screeching against glass is heard. You look up. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say no, I'm not a failure. Trying to drown out everything.
You hold your hands to your ears, giving it a couple seconds. You finally look up to see that the only thing left inside them now is a coat of what looks like dark red blood and mucus that paints the interior of the glass.
want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. She's just sort of rocking back and forth.
You hear something in the distance. The sound of footsteps. As you look up, you're able to see that passing one of the empty glass chambers up ahead is a wispy form of not yourself, but of Lexe, turned to one of the nearby walls of the hallway. Without looking your way, you watch as she steps towards the wall, moving out of view behind one of the chambers. You hear the sound of the wall moving as if there is a new place to travel to.
I'll get up slowly and just sort of looking very small. I might have even shrunk a little, and try to head that direction.
You begin to head forward 30 or so feet ahead, turning the corner behind one of the now empty metal chambers or glass chambers. You now see that this Lexe has disappeared, replaced now by a version of yourself who is leaning against the white wall. Her head is drooped down, her hair covering any of her facial features. You watch as she slowly reaches up, placing a hand on the wall, a square around her hand, similar to yours as you initially entered this place, lights up where she places it. A new door frame outline appears, opening a new room, almost the similar place where Lexe traveled to. This one, within, much darker than the others. You watch as this version of yourself points towards the open room, and then slowly motions, bringing a finger up to her face, gesturing to be quiet.
MUSA just nods at her.
What would you like to do?
She was looking? I'm sorry, she was looking at a specific area?
She has opened a new, very darkly lit room. One hand is pointing at it, the other raising a pointing finger to where her mouth would be covered with hair, gesturing as if to be quiet.
I guess I'll head towards the room. I'm gonna roll a stealth.
Okay.
I'm going to use an advantage card, inspiration.
Okay.
To get advantage.
Nice.
And dealt 24.
Oh, very nice. You feel particularly stealthy as you are you entering this kind of darkened room?
Yeah, and I'm actually going to I don't know. I don't think I'm still holding the torch. I feel like I probably dropped it when I was freaking out, but I am going to I'm kind of hide the glow from the wand, or just not try to hide it a bit so I'm not so bright anymore.
Okay. It's low light in here. There does appear to be some light as you step inside, but you kind of try and keep your wand from leaking out a whole bunch of light, considering you feel particularly stealthy. As you enter into this room, the door behind you comes to a shut. Feel yourself look around. You're standing in a small, dark office. It appears to have the same interior design as Lexe's laboratory. It's only lit, though, by the ambient light of several glass panels that float around you. Displayed on them is common script, and as you read each, they all appear to question the identity of this kalashtar that you have come to know as Kalypso. One of them says, "Who is Kalypso?" Another says, "I need to know more." One of them says, "So brilliant, so revolutionary, a genius in his own right. Where can I find him? I have to find him." The writing on the panels appears to grow more erratic as it continues on each, becoming almost more obsessive as it continues. At the back wall now are several images of what appear to be the kalashtar's face, matching up with the descriptions you receive from Tali's core eye memories of the man. They litter the wall. Many of them have fallen to the floor. As your eyes finish adjusting to the lower light, you can now see writing on the sides of the walls adjacent to the images of the face. The nature of the lettering is frantic and sloppy. I have to bring him back. I will bring him back. I have to bring him back. Absorbed but not lost. I will bring him back. The other wall simply reads, "He's still in there," in all caps across several rows, scrawled from top to bottom.
Ah, jeez.
As you continue to notice all of this, the glass panels displaying the information begin to change. The large blocks of research notes now replaced with a large single red word on each. Failure. You hear the sound of moving metal again, this time louder than before, and you feel a shifting beneath you, MUSA. As when you look down, you watch as the floor opens up, the entirety of it, dropping away from your feet as you begin to fall into darkness. You fall for what feels like too long before coming to a landing. The sound, a mixture of liquid and soft, squishy material that you find yourself falling into. You begin to pull yourself to the surface, pushing past tight, compacted feeling of this wet squishiness around you. With your wand tucked inside, it's still too dark to see here.
I mean, I guess at this point I would... I made a giant splash, so I'll at least have that 5-foot oil again, just...
Okay.
So I'll pull my wand out.
You pull your wand out quickly as you've made to the surface here. As you light the area, you now see several corpses of clones of yourself. Their faces and bodies twisted in terrible ways. A brownish liquid coats the space. There is no floor here. You simply stand about waist deep in a mixture of rancid body fluid and dead clones. The flesh of their bodies plump from the absorption of bodily liquid, their eyes bulging from their heads. The smell here is horrid. It nearly makes you faint with each breath. Every attempt that you do to pull yourself out from the top of these corpses, you feel yourself sinking further into the wet pile below. MUSA, you begin to hear giggling. And then you begin to feel the sensation of small hands wrapping around your legs, pulling you further into the mass below. You try to claw your way out, but you're pulled deeper and deeper until you no longer can see or breathe. Please give me an intelligence saving throw.
Y'all think she's going to be traumatized from this? Seems like a pretty traumatic experience for a child.
I don't like it.
Advantage, I like it. All right.
Advantage, and I get 2, so I'll take the, I guess, temporary hit points.
Okay, sure.
If I roll a 10 or higher on a d20.
You can probably manage that with advantage.
Nope, not me. So, just the advantage.
Okay.
Intelligence. 17. I'll pump a +1 into it.
18 total?
Yeah.
You are pulled down deeper and deeper. Feel like you are suffocating. But you do not suffer any madness effects.
Tough kid.
I don't know. She might be kind of broken at the moment.
Wow. I don't like this game, dude.
Nick. no.
Let me go get a coffee. I'm
Welcome,
sorry.
welcome to my funhouse,
Just
Nick.
process.
I want to play a game.
I need to process this.
Jason did this whole session just to torture Nick.
All the light. I'm sleeping with all the lights on tonight. Like this is.
We just get to Nick and it's like, oh yeah, there's a pizza party. The character has some pizza and then you meet up with the rest of the group.
I wouldn't trust it.
VYSE, you were trailing down a staircase with your teammates, this winding staircase, but now you look behind you. The sound of their footsteps have been dissipated. You see no one behind you, and now as you look ahead, where just a few seconds there are more, you appear to be alone. Just as you do notice this visibly, the light that seemed to be what the material of the party were carrying to light the area goes out. You cannot see anything.
Hello? VYSE will use a torch.
Okay, you
Try
call
to
out,
see.
you hear no response, and as you said, you pull out a torch and hit it with a tinderbox. It lights up. You now see that you're standing in a narrow hallway flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that stretch all the way up into the darkness above. Papers litter the floor. There's a musty, strange smell in the air. Behind you is nothing but a dead end covered with more books. None of these books appear to have titles on the spines. You notice that the path up ahead stretches on before taking a 90-degree turn to the right.
Well, right is right. So, start slowly walking forward and turn to the right.
You step up, and as you take a turn to the right, you now see that directly ahead of you, after taking this right, the book stacks actually open up, forming like a semicircle, and at the far end, able to be illuminated by your torch, you're able to see and reveal a dark red booth that appears to be built into a wall. You see two sets of double doors on both sides. You notice that in the center, this booth has a glass covering that's about chest high up to the top. You notice that what appears to be seated on a wooden stool behind the glass is a strange creature resembling a flump, but it bears several more eyes than it should, and its skin is it's obsidian wet black. You notice it wears a dark, small, red, tall cap that sits on its head. Are you muted? Okay.
No. VYSE will slowly approach.
It takes notice as you approach and begins to wave you over with a tentacle to come closer.
I personally don't remember what the summoned flump's name was from the Camp Care.
I don't remember either, but I'm sure your character would.
VYSE would call it. Whoa, is it really you? Are you here?
As you kind of near the glass booth, the flump looks up at you from on this wooden stool and says, "Are you here for the latest show?"
A show? We're like here to like find a guy. Is the guy at the show?
You should know, sir. You're starring in it.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Yeah.
I've got a ticket here, he says, reaching under the desk from within the booth, pulling out a ticket. And look at that, he says, kind of pushing it underneath an open hole in the glass towards you. Free for the star of the show.
Love it. Yeah.
You see a small paper ticket pushed towards you with the words VYSE, but spelled VISE on it through an open hole. Through the
okay.
doors here, it says, pointing both arms to the sides. Enjoy.
Guess I used the stage name on this one. So VYSE will walk through the doors.
The left or right doors?
Ooh, right doors.
All right. You step through the double doors on the right side, and as you do, you can hear them come to a hard click and shut behind you. The room you find yourself in is a dark, mildly open space, likely some 60 or so by 60 feet. 4 dark red walls with a ceiling now hangs above. In the center of the room is a metal stand with some type of strange device on it that sits at about waist level. There's no chairs or other pertinent features besides the doors behind you.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Hello? Is anybody like my early? No?
There is no response.
Ah, bummer. Guess this one's not popular. VYSE will approach the pedestal.
You come up to this strange looking device that appears to have some type of like glass tube on the side.
Yeah. You kind of like flick the glass a couple of times and then
You reach down and go to flick the glass. And you watch as it begins to whir to life.
yeah.
An illusory image lights up from within, and you watch as it's projected on the far wall ahead. You begin to hear strange music that plays, slow and erratic. It sounds like it's flowing backwards. A title in common curves across the screen or on the wall, and it reads, hang on just a second, I'll post this in the chat. VYSE Stuck in VYSEland as its title.
Oh. Did I do this? Yeah, I did this one, yeah.
You can see now, as the title shifts away, there is an illusory image of yourself that appears on the wall. The image of yourself looks confused. It chuckles occasionally. An undetermined blur of some type of location behind it. This view is pulled up at about waist high of yourself in the image on the wall. You watch as one of the hands raises up into view, and you can see on the image on the wall you holding a blade in your hand. The view cuts now close to your face as you bring the dagger up to a tooth in your open mouth, still chuckling. You watch as the image of yourself begins to push the blade slowly into your gums at the base of one of your molars. Blood begins to pour over your bottom lip and down your chin. Your image keeps laughing, intercut with the occasional wince of pain as they continue to dig the blade deeper. You watch as they begin to pull down on the grip of the blade. A scraping noise fills your ears. Your image chuckles more, but coughs as the blood runs down their throat. There's a sickening crunch, and you watch as they reach in with 2 fingers from the other hand and pull out a tooth, blood covering both it and running down their fingers. Your image stares directly at you, gargling and choking as blood pours out from their open mouth. The scene now suddenly changes. A fade to black obscures the view before revealing another title, similar to the last. This one reading VYSE Stuck in VYSEland.
Oh.
You see yourself again, this time free of blood and any blade. Your image stares directly into your eyes, a grin forming on their face. You watch yourself as you look around your obscured surrounding. You begin to watch as the view changes. You begin stepping over to a rocky black wall nearby. As you're watching this happen, VYSE, you hear a chuckle, but you realize that it's coming from yourself and not the image on the wall. You look, the image on the wall looks at you again before pulling back and slamming the side of their head into the wall. You hear a hard smack and watch as their shades hang lopsided on their face as they bring their head in again, smashing it hard against the uneven rocky surface with a sickening thud. Blood begins to pour from the side of their head, dripping down from the hair. Your image's shades are thrown as they continue to smash their head on the wall. You hear a muffled chuckle, but you're not sure which one of you is doing it. The bashing continues, your image's head becoming more and more misshapen as they continue to strike the wall. The image cuts again to black, this time displaying something else. VYSE stuck in VYSE land. This version of the film appears less stable than the others. A new version of yourself intercut with frequent blackouts and changes in perspective. Your image laughs, beginning to douse themselves in a flask of what looks like dark oil. Black cuts strike through the film, leading to a scene where they appear to be grabbing a torch nearby. You can now hear yourself audibly chuckling. The torch touches your image. A burst of flame covers your body. The view cuts close to your face again. It stares unblinking at you as the fire begins to burn away at the skin. This version cuts to black much more quickly. A new title appears again, faster and more erratic. VYSE stuck in VYSE. The image you see displayed is now of you standing in the room you are in now, staring back at yourself. What do you do?
Wave?
As you do this, you watch as the image on the wall, in a almost mirror-like fashion, waves directly back.
VYSE will kind of like quickly turn around and look for try to find the camera, like a true professional.
You turn back to find the projector still sitting in the center of the room. It's still there.
So VYSE can like look into the hard cam, like figure out where the image is coming from.
It is hard to tell. If this was captured on some type of device, it almost looks like it'd be coming from the wall itself, because you just see, it's like looking in a mirror. You just see a reflection of yourself. It's not from behind. It's like the front of you. As you waved at it, it waved directly back. You're not sure where the other projector may be coming from, if there is one.
It's gonna... VYSE will slowly approach the screen.
As you do, the copy version of the illusory self does the same.
VYSE will try to touch the image.
You reach up with a hand slowly to touch the image. So too does your double on the wall. You press your hand up to the wet wall, not wet wall, the cold wall. And you watch as your double does the same and the flat illusory image. As you do this, the room begins to shake. You begin to look around and look up as you hear the sound of the ceiling above beginning to slowly descend down. You're startled now by the version of yourself not but a few inches away from you begins to scream now, louder and louder in a frenzied panic. As this happens, VYSE, you yourself find yourself laughing out loud.
How did the screen feel?
Didn't feel any difference. It just felt like touching a cold wall. The ceiling continues to slowly descend.
Search for an exit.
You turn and still see the double doors, 2 sets on the walls over to the side.
Attempt to leave.
You know you can move very quickly, and you begin to move that way. But as you attempt to make way for the doors, you feel your body traveling in what feels like slow motion, almost like time is being manipulated. You look up ahead and see that the ceiling continues to drop lower and lower. Your image screams again as the images from the device begin to display flashes of yourself in various mutilated states, the screaming still continuing throughout. You continue to push for the doors, but feel yourself unable to make any real headway, as if trapped deep underwater against some unseen current. The ceiling now dropping so far that it begins to press on your head, pushing you down. It continues. You can hear the sound of it crushing the steel device in the center of the room as the image on the wall cuts out with it, but the screaming continues. You continue reaching for the door. You're so close now, VYSE. You're on all fours, though, reaching out towards it. You feel the ceiling push you to the ground, pinned, and you laugh one more time. Please give me an intelligence saving throw.
Add advantage +1.
Man, Domo got off easy compared to some of you. Ooh, I know which one of those you probably want to take.
Thank
15,
God.
please.
Holy shit.
VYSE is not smart.
With a 15, VYSE, you feel the pinning of the wall above as everything around you goes black, but you do not suffer any madness.
I did IRL though.
Tali!
Right back.
You were descending with the others down this spiraling staircase, although as you reach what appears to be the bottom where things level out, behind you and in front of you, the party has disappeared. There are light sources just as you take note of their disappearance, also snuffling out. You find yourself standing in complete darkness. What would you like to do?
Tali will get up and light her torch with her tinderbox.
Okay. You pull out your torch and flick the tinderbox, giving it a light. Finding yourself standing in a narrow hallway flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that stretch all the way up to the darkness above. Papers litter the floor here. There's a musty, strange smell in the air. Behind you is nothing but a dead end covered with more books, and it appears as though none of the books have titles on their spine. Up ahead, you notice that probably at the edge of where the light of the torch gives you vision, the narrow passageway created by the books takes a sharp 90-degree turn to the left.
Tali looks around, figures the space ahead. Her brain's like doing mental calculations, hypothesizing, theorizing, like where her locations are, or where she is. And then she like sends out a whistle to see if there's like a long distance ahead of her.
You give off a strong whistle, and can hear that it appears muffled somewhat by the narrow nature of the passageway here, but it does travel some distance. But you hear no response.
She looks out to the books. She's at home with that space, so she tries to grab at one of those books, hoping to open it up.
All right. Just any of the books?
Just anything, yeah.
Okay. You reach nearby. There's like a few stacks that are close to you that don't fully stretch up into the darkness. That kind of just either go up a little above your head or kind of at waist level, and you just kind of grab at one of them. And similarly, you notice there's no writing on the spine. You flip it over and see that there's no writing on the front. And you flip open the book to any page inside. There is nothing written on any of these pages except for the page that you have opened to. It reads, Tali Ishara opens the book, with a period at the end.
Tali turns the page and then turns back to it in wonder.
You turn the page and then quickly flip back. The book now reads, after that previous sentence, begins to flip through some of the pages.
Tali closes it shut, grips it, and then opens it up again to see if it's changed.
You open it again. The writing's still on that lone page as you flip to it, although now added to what has been written so far. It reads, she does not realize what is up ahead.
Tali throws the book to the end of the hallway.
You give it a toss. You can hear it kind of bounce along the ground before it kind of skids, sliding and coming to a stop, hitting the other book stacks.
She then runs after it and pulls it back to that page. To the end of the hallway. Yep.
Yeah, you run over and grab the same book, flip it open, turning to that page. There now appears to be the same amount of writing, but the writing is now in some type of script that you do not recognize.
She folds that page to keep it as a bookmark and holds it to keep it with her.
Okay, you decide to take one of the books with you. Just write Far Realm book in your inventory.
Before she goes on, she wants to do a quick Arcana check on the book.
Oh, sure. Test. Let me see here. 13 total. You are able to sense, not only is there a lot of magic in this area, but there's also magic emanating from the book you have in your possession. Although with the 13, you are unable to identify the school of magic that it is. It is certainly magical in some form, though.
She looks at the book and looks around. Says, "You're a unique one, aren't you?" And since she's nervous to go ahead, we'll do a perception as well.
Sure. Oh, very nice. You are able to be particularly perceptive now that you kind of studied the area, have your torch out. Please also give me a D3 roll if you don't mind. All right. You feel your suit tighten up just a bit. It's been a while, but now you recognize that it is your suit pressure increasing. You feel the sensation a number forming on the palm of your hand from your hexy glove, showing you the value of 2.
Okay, peculiar.
You also, with your perception check, peer around, and you can hear some type of shifting, some type of sound coming from up ahead. It's subtle, but it appears to be coming from around where the area sort of bends around the corner.
Tali is very cautious, so she starts hugging the walls and starts sneaking closer to the end.
Okay. Do you want to make it like a stealth check to remain stealthy?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, you're pretty stealthy as you kind of hug the walls here, probably keeping the torch to the far side of you so it doesn't illuminate too much as you try to close into this corner. Are you peering around the corner?
Can you say that one more time? It cut off at the end.
Oh, sorry. Are you gonna peer around the corner once you get there?
Yes.
Okay. You close the distance and peer around the corner. The area up ahead seems to open up, the stacks of books forming sort of like a circle enclosure with a open space in the center. It reveals what looks like a figure resembling who you know now as Kalypso at a table in like a facsimile of an office area overlooking paperwork.
You?
You say this, but the figure does not respond to you.
Ali walks closer, trying to not spook, or maybe thought they didn't hear.
You walk closer. From this distance now, you can actually see that the paperwork that this Kalypso is going through details instructions on what appear to be the dissolution of a company to rebrand it as Dalcor Pharmaceuticals. You actually now hear a voice coming from right next to you that says,
I know you'd like to bring him along with you in this endeavor, but this can't be a co-ownership.
You turn and see that it is Ishara, Tali. She continues,
when he comes back, and he will eventually come back, I have a few ways in mind to take care of him.
You see that she's actually turned towards Kalypso, although standing next to you as she says this. There's almost a confused look on her face. She turns to you after finishing and says,
I know I said this to him at the time, but I don't remember the context. Why can't I remember?
Remember what? What did you say?
That's what I told him. Those words, but I don't know their meaning. It's like it's lost to me.
Wait. She looks at you.
Tali, this isn't during any of your sleep or meditations. This isn't a dream memory. We're still here in the archive.
She says, kind of looking around, and you do notice outside of the facsimile of the office of Kalypso, it's still the stacks of books at the edges. She says,
the far realm really is strange. At the very least, I can communicate with you now in a more direct manner.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Probably the first kalashtar that can do that.
Perhaps.
She says, kind of thinking about it.
Your family, Tali. Did you have one? Who raised you?
My people did. I don't have them anymore. My mother's and my father's did.
Something akin to a collective, then?
Sure. You can say that.
Where was this at?
It's a far memory from now. Wait. And Tali's like not trying to talk about it. She's just, doesn't matter. What about them?
She kind of recognizes the resistance you give her and says,
I don't mean to bring up a sore subject. I just wish to learn more about you. I also was maybe hoping that a side benefit that maybe learning more about you would help me learn more about myself in the process. Forget I brought it up.
you see now, Tali, that the figure of Kalypso along with the desk begins to fade away. Behind him, you now see another book corridor on the far side of this room.
Are you still there?
Tali, or Ishara is still standing next to you.
I don't know you, but I'm suddenly missing your presence, so let's go to that side with me, please.
She kind of pulls up several of her various arms and hands, kind of studying them, and looks back at you and says,
I don't know how long this may last, but it feels good to stand in your presence. Yes, let's press on.
The two of you, I'm assuming, continue down to the far end. As both of you press on, the book stacks begin to give way to something else. Walls now replace the book stacks. There is a familiar sense of the walls here, Tali. The rug underneath you. Something nostalgic. As you turn the corner, you see a room, the interior filled with all of the things that you would remember from what perhaps your home growing up, or maybe one of your homes, looked like. You also can hear the sound of idle chatter and the laughter of familiar voices coming from deeper within.
I guess I shouldn't have spoke too soon. This can't be home.
No, I can't imagine it would be. Though this is the far realm, I do not know what to expect here.
I don't know what to say, but if I were to expect home, there would be wrangles of kids running towards the door as soon as we knock, and elders rushing to greet me. They would be surprised that I'll be talking to you, but that would be a wonderful reminder of what they believe in, I guess. And Tali just pushes forward.
You see Ishara walk with you.
Well, perhaps at least for the time being we could give it a shot.
You walk along with her, walking deeper into a house or home, a setting identical to one of the ones of your upbringing. The same sounds, smells, and now as you turn the corner, Tali, entering another room, familiar faces that now see you. You see several children beginning to run up, smiles on their faces and screams as they run up to you. And several elders in the back looking up your way, a surprised and also elated look on their face. Friends, family, people that you once thought lost stand before you. "Oh my God, Tali, you're back. Thank goodness," one of them says. Another, an older kalashtar woman, looks and says, "And who is this?" she says, pointing towards Ishara.
Wow, you can see her. This is Ishara, the one we've worked really hard to protect all these years and generations.
As you say this, Tali, the faces of those that you know drop, their laughter and smiles disappearing. The old relative looks at you and says, "Tali, that is not your Korai. That is a
What?
nightmare. You've invited a nightmare into your heart." You watch as Ishara turns to you and says,
No, I'm not.
How do you know? How is it you can see it's a nightmare?
The old woman points at Ishara. "That thing killed us. She killed everyone. She did this, Tali. You have to purge her out of your soul. Please, Tali."
How? You're gone?
Ishara looks and turns to you, just as befuddled as you are.
That's not true.
The old woman now yells, "Nightmare! Nightmare! Nightmare!" You begin to hear the echoes of the others in the room as they chant, their faces beginning to distort, twisting in strange and unnatural ways. They all continue to point at Ishara, chanting nightmare.
Stop. And Tali's just trying to get all of them to quiet down with their hand out, both their hands out, and say, she's not a nightmare.
As you say this back to them, they all immediately stop and stare behind you. You now hear a voice from behind both you and Ishara speak softly after the loud chanting stops.
Tali?
Tali turns around to see what that is.
As you turn around, Tali, looking past your Ishara next to you, you now see, standing about 15 feet away towards the other side of the room, another identical Ishara. She looks to you and says,
Tali, it's me, your Korai. I'm your original.
I don't even know you.
Tali, I thought I lost you. But we can be together again. Listen to me, Tali. This other version of me, the one you're connected to now, you have to cast them off. Get rid of them. She has done unspeakable things, Tali. Let go of her so we can be together again.
Tali looks to the other Ishara. Explain.
The one
Explain what is
standing
happening.
next to you looks and says, I don't know. I don't know what these people are saying. I've not done these things. The other one now says, Tali, please. That Ishara you are with is a nightmare. She brings with her the darkness that dreams. She would make you her devourer. Cast her off, Tali.
Tali wants to do insight so bad right now.
Sure. Insight on who?
The new Ishara.
As far as you can tell, the new Ishara is being 100% honest. It says, Tali, come over here. Step away from the one you're with now. I will protect you. And she reaches out one of her several hands and beckons you over.
Tali turns to the original Ishara and looks from her to the elders behind her and says, "Tell me something to believe."
Something you would know?
The Ishara says.
Yes.
The Ishara standing 15 feet away from you tells you of a time when you were young, playing outside, when you, in your scientific research as a child, tried to maybe get out of the eyesight of some of the elders beyond an area of their view to try and catalog a few things in the natural surroundings, ending up getting a nasty scrape on your knee that you tried to maybe play off as an accident so that you didn't get caught, being a little bit of a troublemaker. The Ishara next to you turns to you and says,
Tali, I don't like this. I think this is a trap. Don't go to her. Stay here next to me. Please.
What would you like to do, Tali?
Tali wants to run.
Where do you run?
Away from all of them.
Begin to run away from the the Ishara next to you. The Ishara at the far end, claiming to be your original. Family at the far end who stopped chanting and now stare at you with strange, twisted faces. You run back down the hallway. Both Isharas yelling, Wait, Tali, please! Both of them talking over one another. The room begins to twist and spin around. Your vision and your coordination beginning to slip. Feels as though the whole room is beginning to shift and turn, and you follow yourself falling now into darkness. Please make me an intelligence saving throw. 10 overall?
With my +1 from chat.
11 total?
Sure.
Please give me a D100 roll.
Oh, yeah. Come on, 45. 45. See that? 45. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Not
What's
good.
that mean?
Wow.
You shit your pants.
What?
I would love to tie this into the RP here, but you are literally doing exactly what this is. The character becomes frightened and must use his or her action and movement each round to flee from the source of the fear. You are doing just that. So although you suffer a short-term madness, you are playing right into the RP. So you are already doing that thing.
Precognitive RP.
It's
Wow.
pretty great, yeah. As you fall into this darkness.
Jason wrote so well it became self-aware.
Verse / Harper / whatever else.
This is gonna be the good one.
It's first. I've reached my final form. It's first forever now.
You have like some limited vision, right?
I have blind sight. I can supernaturally sense things within 10 feet of me.
Okay.
The vibrations of the universe tell me that it's there.
Similar to as I explained before, player character now becoming character knowledge. Somehow, despite being close to one another, you find yourself removed from the rest of the party, now standing in what feels like, from your dark vision, able to sense a now pretty narrow hallway. You can sense with your blind sense that it appears as though it is flanked on both sides by messy stacks of books and tomes that appear to stretch on far up above in the darkness. You can hear this shifting sound of littered papers on the floor underneath your shoes. There's a musty, strange smell in the air. Can't really see further out, as it is pitch black.
Always said libraries are evil. The records of who you used to be. You can't reinvent yourself. That's not ephemeral. It's not cool. Let's go, man. What's down this hallway?
You begin to travel down the hallway, seeing that behind you as you turn and kind of peer that way, there's a dead end. As you head down the hallway, you also notice none of these books have titles on their spines. You come to an area that seems to round to a 90-degree corner, and still kind of using your very limited blind sight, just sort of continue leading you on. You find yourself stepping into what looks like, well, I guess with your blind sight, you don't...
Yeah, I was gonna say, once I sense that, like, I'm moving beyond a hallway, I'm gonna remember, oh, I had this cool prop once, and I click and I press to digitize a glowing halo around my head.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be a pretty good look at me flashlight.
How much light does that cover?
It would be a non-magical item, so whatever you would count like a torch to, it's like 30 feet, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, 30 feet. I think a torch is like 20 feet bright, 20 feet low
20
light,
feet.
so plenty of light to kind of see ahead. There's a strange... The hallway continues on and seems to turn up at a corner about at the edge of where your light is here as you take this first corner, staring down another narrow hallway. But there's a smell like a strange fetid fills your nostrils, and you notice a strange purple mist begins to roll in over your shoes from in between the bookcases and begins to fill the area here.
How strange, how interesting, how magical. I don't know. 8 on Arcana check. Is that what that says? I can't read that in this dark mode.
It's an 8. Yeah, I see it here. You're unable to tell as now it begins to pour through the edges of the books, filling the area. Please give me a Constitution saving throw.
22. Uh-oh. I've seen this roll before.
As you make your con save, you press on, but the air around is still choking as this gas seems to just permeate this area. It fills everywhere, despite you being able to kind of hold in your breath and steel yourself. It's now just surrounding you. You can see nothing but this purple haze. Your vision begins to grow fuzzy. Your mind losing focus. Close your eyes. You wake up. The feeling of a cold slab underneath you. You open your eyes and you see staring at you from overhead a gray-skinned creature that looks almost human, but is slightly off, as if it were an incomplete structure. It wears dark goggles and a leather coat, and it bears a grim expression. You can see on its hands as it reveals them, it wears large black gloves, and it appears to cover, they're covered in some type of reflective fluid. There's a bright light that emanates from high, illuminating the area. The figure looks down at you, and its mouth, covered in some type of mask, says, "Oh, this was not your time to wake just yet. Oh, we're not done here. Please, close your eyes and sleep just a bit more."
Wait, how can I go back to sleep? I've never been so awake. I've never heard the hum of the universe when I'm in this place.
Harper, as you attempt to speak, nothing comes out besides a burning sensation that spreads through your throat. The figure above you wags a gloved finger, wiping the sweat off of their pasty white forehead. "I told you the operation has not come to completion. Trying to talk now is only going to bring you pain. Here," it says, "let me show you." The figure steps to the back of the cold slab. You hear the sound of gears cranking, the feeling of the slab slowly being turned upright as you hear them continue. As you look down, you find that you are tied down. Looking towards your feet, you see 3 large leather straps running across your chest. As the slab uprights itself, you see several other figures who stand staring at you in a semicircle about 30 feet away. They are tall, some 6.5 feet, and wear black leather coats similar to the other. They look almost identical to the one standing next to you. There are 6 of them. They all watch silently, standing straight with arms folded behind their backs. The one next to you says, "You see, we are adjusting some things for you," the figure says as it holds up a hand mirror pointed towards your throat. You can now see in the reflection that your throat has been cut into and opened, and where your Adam's apple and vocal cord should be is something else. A strange, pale pink mass of flesh, slimy like a fish, but with a more rounded shape and several small tentacles that run up and down your exposed throat. The figure says, "You see, we've just inserted it, and there's going to be a certain adjustment period for the time being." What would you like to do, Harper?
Well, I'm all strapped down and my throat's cut out. I don't know what I can do. Just look at him.
He continues to stare and says, "You possess an extraordinary ability to communicate with the world, or nay, universe itself, perhaps," he says, pushing a black glove against your forehead, almost rubbing your head. You feel something slimy rubbing off above. A powerful asset in the right hands, and one we could not afford to allow to go unchecked. So we decided that here and now would be the best time and place to take and replace a few things for you, just in case. The 6 figures in the distance begin to whisper together, "Twilight, Twilight, Twilight." The figure next to you looks and says, "Go back to sleep. When this is all said and done, you'll be like brand new." Would you like to do anything?
Guess not. No.
You go back to sleep?
Yeah.
All right. Give me an intelligence saving throw, please.
Not enough. 8.
All right. If you would please give me a D100 roll. Yeah, these low rolls.
40.
Almost 45.
There is a sensation that wells within you. You are unsure where you are, what has happened to you. You become distraught, frightened. You try to pull yourself away from the figures. The madness of what has happened to your voice, the one that you've used to become the person you are now, stripped from you, begins to well into your mind, seep into your thoughts. You try to flee, but you can't. You're stuck in the chair. The slab underneath you drops, and you find yourself falling into darkness.
But what happened to him on the 30? That just sounds like a normal Far Realm thing.
Yeah.
What's that?
What happened to him on the 40? That just sounds like the end of the scene.
Oh, well, it's the same as Tali's. He gets frightened and tries to escape.
Okay. All right, fair enough, fair enough.
Another role where, in his situation, still strapped down, can't really flee too far. And I would make both of them roll to see how long that lasts, but they would be fleeing from the thing that has frightened them, and that's about to change.
I mean, dude's got a trauma tumor in his throat. That is pretty frightening.
Cannot scream and I must scream and have no vocal cords.
Yeah. That's a good story, too.
It's me. I mean,
There's still probably another 2 minutes. I think it was only Domo that suffered this effect.
It was. It's definitely only me.
Oh no. The darkness that surrounded each of you, the falling sensation that some of you felt, feels replaced now. Let's see. Domo, you find yourself on the side of the room here, standing over on the side. As you appear here, you are suddenly joined stepping down the stairs by Tali, MUSA, and Six.
Am I supposed to be seeing something? I only see my token.
Those of you who had some light sources, they now appear gone.
You hear a babbling that sounds kind of like Domo from the darkness.
And then Flash, you step to what looks like the bottom of the stairs from falling in your strange, weird experience. VYSE, Harper, 7, and Lexe nearby. you can hear each other's voices at the very least, even if you can't see one another. If you had light sources, they appear to be gone now. So some of you may have visions, some of you may not. What would you like to do?
I scoop up everybody in 10 feet. Just grab onto them. I know you're there. Look at me.
I mean, does 6, like, how does she feel?
I mean, that was very strange. You feel however you feel about that experience, but you didn't suffer any madness.
But she's not, like, hurt or anything, right?
No. That wound at your side is gone. Harper, as you went to go scoop everyone up, saying those things and drawing them closer, you now find yourself able to speak.
It was awful. I had a terrible dream. This place is terrible. I want to leave this place.
We need to get out of here. I don't like it.
Do we hear them nearby, the other group?
At this point, since you have started conversing with one another, those of you who can't see across the room can begin to hear the audible sounds of the rest of your group at the far ends, even if you can't see them.
Domo turns to the people next to her and says, and you see her pull out a big war horn from her backpack. And she'd like to spend a charge of the Horn of Silent Alarm. And one creature of my choice within 600 feet can hear it. I'm going to choose Harper because I know that he has heard it before.
Okay, sure.
At the camp. And he would recognize it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, immediately hearing that, I do the thing. I scoop up everybody. It's still in hand and just start walking them towards the alarm. Hello? Someone, look at me. Oh, God. I'm so alone.
You pull everyone together. Go ahead, Amanda.
Do I see anything? I'm so confused.
Nothing yet, no.
It's like total blackness.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to crack some torches or anything if you want.
You got torches? Yeah, just use torches.
Yeah, I guess I'll take my torch out.
Okay.
MUSA's kind of just on the floor.
Can you give me a ping, Luke, so I can get a direction?
Yeah, it's due west.
Okay, sweet.
There's a giant pit though, so don't fall in it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I do have blind sense. I won't walk off anything.
Oh, that's
but I do move in the most expeditious way, which is straight across there.
It's like Salvador Dali's what are those pits? Sarlacc pit? That's what this thing looks like.
Salvador Dali's Sarlacc pit? What the fuck are you talking about?
Is that what this is? Am I looking at a pit or floor?
Eventually you'll get to a pit. It's like a big circular bookcase that goes down into infinity.
You see a massive circular bookcase in the center of the room, rows and rows of levels of bookshelves covered in books, lined, just descends into a deep darkness in the center, though you do see pathways on the outside edges that could lead across the room. And at this point, as 6 cracks her torch, you all can see the torch on the other side of the room.
6 is just gonna yell, 7!
You hear 7. Yeah, I'm here. I think everyone else is too, right?
I think you and I have some talking to do.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, Verse, man, I'm telling you, it was like some weird hollow vid. They wanted me to like refinance my Spelljammer loan, but I don't even have one, man. I don't know what the hell was going on.
I'll say for expediency, you guys can get with the other group if you'd like.
Oh, where are they?
On the I'll say you guys can come over here.
Okay, there we go.
VYSE can navigate all of this. He can't see.
You can. I'm sure Harper's dragging you along.
No, I was carrying everybody. Literally carrying.
Oh, okay.
Grab him by the collar, type of thing. Yeah.
Oh my fucking sex psychopath.
Domo's speaking very strangely.
Domo's drunk.
Domo, everyone's been through a traumatic experience, it seems. I mean, if you need to drink, it's okay, but now might not be the time.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk. Oh, I can talk again. Sorry, everyone. I just got a little tongue-tied.
Wait, is Lexe here? Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lexe follows along, looking around, kind of studying the area.
Interesting.
She was too far for me to reach. I couldn't grab her.
Tali puts a hand on Musa's hair and says, "Are you all right, dear?"
No. I'm gonna reach down and give her a hug.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Tali grabs her hand and starts just.
That's correct.
It's okay. I'm here.
Failure.
Gives her a hug too.
Domo, you kind of come to the edge here of what looks like just a descending several encircled rows of books that just go down into darkness.
Oh, you all see this? Well, probably not you human lot, but it's like a big bottomless pit of books.
Domo takes out a torch and throws it roughly in the epicenter and sees how far down the light goes.
Yeah, you do that thing where you kind of light it up and kind of just throw it out ahead of you. You watch as the flame flickers with the movement as it descends and descends and descends and descends. The light, after about 30 or so seconds, finally snuffing out.
All right, I don't think we're going down. Is everyone, hunky-dory, in your right minds?
I don't think so, to be frank, but I guess we can push that aside for present business. And then
it doesn't matter. We have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Where the hell are we, and how the hell did we leave?
Well, it looks like we're still in the library.
You all begin to hear a shifting sound coming from the pit in the center of the room that Domo threw the torch down.
Uh-oh.
Are these pillars high? Like, do they reach the ceiling?
Yeah, they ascend into darkness. There's no ceiling here, just as the other rooms.
Domo scampers over behind one.
Sure. Is anyone else doing anything as you guys begin to hear a shifting movement coming from the center of the room?
Tali just keeps Musa close and holds her hand.
Sure.
Same. I'll take the other and try to help her up if she wants to get up.
Six is gonna use her hat to cast Detect Magic.
As you do, Six, you are nearly thrown to your feet. Magic is coming from everywhere, though you still cannot detect what school it's coming from. There is a surge of magic that is rising from the middle of the room.
She's just gonna take her warhammer out and ready up.
Get some cover, everybody. Get in positions. We don't know what this is.
Yeah, as soon as Six starts to arm, first literally scoops up Musa. It's time to go. Starts trying to find some cover. Is there any cover? I look to Domo for direction.
There's columns here.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's really the only thing here in the room.
Yeah. Move Musa to stand there. In the most cover you can get.
Six gets to the edge of the pit because she wants to try to see it as it's coming out.
Oh, I want to see.
Oh my god. Great fun.
You can see, holding your torch in hand, Six, and you, Harper, close to the edge, there is a creature that appears from the dark depths below the circular bookcases, rising up from the dark depths along a vast stalk of what looks like greenish gray flesh. variety of pseudopods stretch out from the stalk, many of them rearranging books on various shelves as it ascends. When it reaches each of your levels now, pushing up from the surface, hanging about 10 feet higher than you all, you watch as the bulb-like head of this thing opens up, peeling back like petals to reveal a bluish substance full of strange stalks that squirm around in the air.
Ugh.
So it sees us?
You have, hang on just a second. Let me do this real quick.
Testing, is this... Can you hear this clearly?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. It rises to the top and stops. Its stalks from this opened area begin to just shift around in the air, slowly writhing.
And that's it? It's just kind of floating there, ominously writhing?
It's like ascended from this long stalk of its body that stretches all the way up from the darkness below. You still see several of the pseudopods on the large length of its body, kind of shifting and rearranging books.
But you guys laughed at me, but it definitely like knows we're here.
Yeah.
I see this. Okay.
We're trying to figure that out. I don't know.
You can make a check, yeah.
What check would that be?
You don't see any visible eyes on the thing, so you're not sure. You could do like an insight check. Probably the best.
I can help you with some guidance.
Yeah, that's a crit fail.
That's good.
Oh.
Domo kind of look. I guess Verse is the closest, and she goes,
Psst. Ask it. It might. It looks like he's just doing stuff with books. Ask it if it's. What are we looking for? The Archivist. If maybe he's friendly. I don't know.
Okay. I'll try.
Okay.
Did you have an idea other than shouting at it? Because I'm good for trying one more thing first.
I don't usually like visitors in my library, so I am cautious, but if you're going out there alone, sure. Go ahead.
Wait. Excuse me, Mr. Crazy Tentacle Monster. Can you see me? Because I need you to see me, and I don't feel that presence on me.
You say this out loud, Harper. 6, please make me a D3 roll.
oh God, what does that mean?
D3. Did I trigger the weird? Is that what this is?
Something has happened.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do this then. Whoops. Yes.
There's a D3 in there.
Yeah, let's say 2.
All right. You feel your suit tighten as you attempt to try and gather some insightful nature from the creature, but fail, and you go up to 4 weird pressure. No other events occur, though. As you say this out loud, Harper, the stalks on this creature's head begin to quickly shift around more erratically, beginning to sway your way as you say this. You hear a sound coming from this thing as it says, at first, what sounds like gibberish, you can't tell, and then it begins to come more clear.
Language recognized. Mortal realm common. Welcome to the Archive. This unit is designated as the Archivist.
Oh, bully, I was right.
Domo kind of bounds out of from hiding and joins the rest of the group.
Yes, see, we're trying to find the Archivist. Oh! And the exit after this, but the exit would be nice. This place is awful.
Wait, not yet.
Oh, right. We have to do this thing first. I want to leave. They want to stay.
It takes a second, says,
I am the Archivist.
Great. Listen, we need to know how to destroy something.
Very well.
It's the Heximal Prime? What's the designation for it specifically, Jason?
Heximal Prime, Heximal Zero,
Okay.
Heximal. I mean, any of them.
Heximal Prime, Heximal Zero, any of them. We need to know how to kill that creature once and for all. And
Big ugly thing with the terrifying face.
Yeah, it's got chapped lips.
It smells terrible.
Did it smell terrible?
I don't know, sure.
Lexe looks and kind of looks over curious as to what this thing says. Its stalks flick for a second. And it finally says,
There currently exists no means of stopping this Heximal as you have deemed its power.
Okay. Bollocks.
That name is not one that originates from this place. Its origin.
Domo looks to Lexe, I guess. Maybe she knows it by another name?
Lexe looks back at you and says, I've only ever seen it deemed Heximal, maybe a title given to it by Kalypso. What is Heximal's origin? She says, looking at the Archivist. The antennas or stalks squiggle, and it says,
The entity you call Heximal originates here. Here it is known only by its true name, the Elder Artifact of Biology.
Ah. Sounds important.
No wonder it looks so squishy.
It originates from the biological material of the old god once called Ach'Nathep.
That's why it's trying to eat everything. That's some deep lore right there.
Okay, so it's made from a dead god, but if the god is dead, then there's got to be a way to kill it, right?
Death is a meaningless term in the Far Realm. Ach'Nathep is considered null at the moment. It resides in an inert state for the foreseeable future. Heximal's purpose, to understand mortal biology by way of absorption and assimilation, is not too dissimilar from its father, Ach'Nathep, though the deemed Heximal ultimately has the propensity to grow much more powerful. It therefore carries with it an insatiable hunger to seek out and absorb any living matter it can.
Okay, well, that's a lot of really scary sounding things all at once.
The energy readings of its current power that I trace to the mortal realm leads me to the conclusion that there currently exists no means of stopping Heximal at this rate.
Okay. Anyone have any ideas?
First looks at Lexe. You signed us up for a contract that was null and void from the start. This is stupid. I hate you. What's going on? You lied to us again. We weren't real at first, and now we're real, and we can't do anything that we're here to do. What's this?
Lexe's deep in thought.
Wait a minute. Okay, all right. Let's think outside the box. Just changing mission parameters, no plan, survives contact with the enemy. If we can't kill it, then there's got to be a way we can contain it, seal it away somewhere where nobody can get to it, right? Ooh. Maybe you got some suggestions for that then?
The Archivist says,
Heximal now carries with it the ability and knowledge to travel wherever it wishes. Containment is no longer possible.
Oh, this just keeps getting better.
are options for it. What is it subject to? What is it weak to?
There currently exists nothing that Heximal is weak to at this point.
Okay, alright. No plan survives contact with the enemy. What if Lexe, oh man. I'm really stumped here. Lexe, please tell me your genius brain's got something for this.
She looks down at her suit and back to you others and says, "We wear hexi suits. If, as the variants of myself have done previously, craft an algorithm capable of issuing a command to your suits to recreate a collateral reality." She turns to the Archivist. "Archivist, you say that there currently exists no means of destroying Heximal. What if we use the power of the suits we currently wear to create a collateral reality where there does exist the ability and some means to stop Heximal?" The stalks flicker.
This would be possible.
Oh, you bloody genius.
Lexe turns and says, "I don't understand it. It's miraculous, though. We have no means of destroying Heximal except by its own infinite capabilities."
I guess it makes sense, right? You can't cut diamonds except with more diamond. Or disintegrate. Never mind.
She taps at her.
Wasn't a good analogy.
She taps at her chin and turns and says, "Archivist, how would I create something like this without the knowledge of knowing what it should be?" The stalks on the Archivist flicker and it says,
Perhaps start with something simple, familiar. I do not know otherwise.
I mean, a weapon's pretty simple. Your pokey bit goes in your enemy.
Lexe begins to think, but says, "That's at least something to work with." "I think I can work with that, yes." You watch as a series of numbers begin to flicker on her visor in front of her. Do any of you have any other questions for the Archivist?
Oh my... Oh, I didn't prepare for this.
Archivist?
Yes.
Is there any food here? I'm a little hungry.
Yes, there is.
What a question.
There is a large portion of edible things within the archive.
Uh-huh. Like, what kinds of things? Like, donuts, cake?
There exists currently no cake, but one donut.
No.
Whoa! There's a mystery Far Realm donut somewhere in the archive.
Forbidden donut.
New quest, guys. We gotta find the forbidden donut.
Goes nuts for donuts.
I got a question. What about the collateral reality where I was from? Is me mom and dad okay?
The collateral reality you originate from no longer exists. Your parents no longer exist.
Ooh.
Domo kind of flashes a glare at Lexe, but doesn't say anything.
Oh, that's
I mean, she
everywhere.
kind of knew that, but, getting confirmed that,
don't have any more questions.
What flavor is this donut?
Just bookended by this donut quest.
It's a compliment sandwich. Something nice, something terrible.
Yeah.
Checking.
Blueberry cake. Blueberry cake. Blueberry.
Strawberry.
Oh my god.
I got it. I got it.
Seven. You know that's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. Mine too.
Hearing them start asking questions, I walk over to the edge and say, "Hey man, I got a question. Plant person, what do acid pigeons eat, man?"
Checking.
It's a good question.
Acid pigeons eat other acid pigeons.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The truth comes out.
That's why you never see a small one.
Tali starts getting more and more curious hearing all these questions, but wants to know about her nightmare. So she runs ahead and says, "Do you know about the Far Realm?"
I am the Archivist of an archive residing in the Far Realm. I am very knowledgeable of such things, yes.
Then are you aware of what happened to each of us?
At what point?
Tali doesn't know how to sound this out, I guess. I guess you wouldn't know if I'm hosting the real Ashar within me. Or if there's a way to get rid of them if they aren't.
Are you speaking of your recent experiences before reaching this level of the archive?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
It is a difficult method to explain to mortal minds such as yourselves. Consider it a way for the archive to collect information about you.
You're saying it was a test?
Feared as much.
Not a test, rather data collection in the simplest of terms.
I don't see the difference, but okay.
What information did you get from that? What could you have possibly have gotten from that?
Plenty.
That what? Didn't catch that.
Plenty.
Plenty? Did you say plenty?
MUSA, I hate to point this out, but sort of sick, twisted shit is exactly how the maesters get information out of their subjects too.
The
Put you in a stressful
archive.
situation. See how you react.
The archive does not exist in your linear frame of mind. It exists outside of your time and space. The information collected may be familiar to you, but some of it may not. Some of it may be truth, while others are articulated fabrications of false data pulled from your minds. Perhaps some of it was in your past, some your present, or perhaps of events to come.
First holds a hand out to MUSA. Now's the time to ask.
I don't want to think about it anymore.
You'll never forgive yourself if you let it go. let the opportunity go, I should say.
I will change what I saw. It doesn't matter.
Then show us the universe where we've already championed over this blobby thing. What did you call it? The elder artifact of biology. Sir Blobulus, as I will henceforth call it.
What do you mean, clarify, to show you the universe?
Oh, I thought that was the plan we were getting at.
Well, yeah, but we haven't done it yet, you know?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I should have said get us started on that plan.
That's a job for me, Lexe says, turning to you.
Yeah, okay.
In that case, if nobody has any more questions, I guess it's time for us to get started.
Any more questions? Nobody.
Thank you, Archivist, for what little information you did provide.
I mean, we're doing this right here, right now?
No, I need to take everyone back safely back to my lab. Then I'll need a few moments to be able to coordinate an algorithm that I can put together hastily, but it should do the job.
But we know how to get out of here?
Our suits should take us.
Okay.
Yes, let's do that now.
Is everyone ready? Lexe turns and says.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Very well. Oh, we will not be coming back to this place, Lexe says. If you have any further questions, ask them now.
Man, look at all that knowledge. One fireball can torch this whole place.
That's not the right kind of chaos.
Don't try it.
Lexe?
Alright, then let's get out of here.
Wait, I got one more. And about...
I pump him on the head.
Domo was gonna ask like a really in-depth war question.
If Admiral Stevenson had used a double Pincium maneuver against Grok the Unbreakable and the Battle of the Sea of the Stars, would he have decimated...
Bonk happens.
Thank you. You've been a host. Bye.
You've been a host. That's a good way to describe it.
Each of you begin to activate your suits. As you do, Seven kind of comes over to your side, Six, and you each kind of begin to see the fractal nature of the glass kind of surrounding you. And as you do, Seven kind of turns to you, Six, as you're beginning to see the jump back to your realm. And he says, hey, I know we haven't exactly had the time to play catch-up, but if we make it out of this whole thing alive, we should talk about some things.
Eh? You gonna stab me in the back? Is that what you're gonna do?
You stabbed me in the back.
Well, you know, that's fair. I do stab a lot, so...
That sounds like me.
I've got throwing axes, you've got throwing axes, we stab things.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, But not each other.
I don't plan to.
Oh, but what kind of answer is that?
I mean, no.
Okay.
And
yeah, we'll talk about things, yeah.
The whole place begins to shift and change as the room begins to turn into a fractal nature. The visions of this archivist begin to dissipate, breaking up into several pieces of glass and beginning to disappear.
Sorry, I thought of a really cool than for this. Harper was thinking when he heard Twilight in his little nightmare that would be a cool name for an album. So the last thing he's going to say is, how big is Twilight going to be?
Oh, no. That's good.
That'll be the last thing before everybody wipes out.
Yeah, the last thing you hear from the Archivist as your suits begin to pull you from the far realm back into zero reality, you hear the Archivist say,
"The whole of mortal reality."
Oh my god. Oh, good. Good.
And you are all pulled back into Lexe's lab.
Oh, there goes.
Hang on just a second here. Your vision begins to come back to you, the fractal patterns beginning to shift and move back in place. And you find yourselves now standing in Lexe's lab once again. You see that you are all standing on a burnt, destroyed area. Behind you, where Heximal once was, is nothing but a char and rubble. All around the metagolems lay on the ground, seemingly inactive, some pieces of them blown apart. All portions of the glass panels appear to be cracked, shattered. Heximal is gone.
Like escaped gone? Like is it like there's a big hole in the ceiling?
There is no sign of damage, but Heximal is not here.
Can everybody talk to those dead guys?
Lexe's face begins to shift. There's a dour look, and she says, "Shit." And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Nice.
Wow.
Good old Archivist.
Yes.
Wow.
Just wow. Wow.
That's a lot.
Good old Far Realm.
Good old fall.
Intense, dude.
Hey, most of you made your saves. That was good. Well, thank you all for hanging out with me. I don't know if asking if you had fun was the right question, but
Yes.
okay, good.
I mean,
More
it was
gruesome the
awesome.
better.
Hopefully that was far realmish enough. I needed to flex my Call of Cthulhu bone, and that was a perfect opportunity to do it. So, thank you for allowing me to take each of you on a one-on-one journey into the far realm.
I liked it. It was scary.
I'm glad it was.
Amazing
I was
work.
terrifying. That was just me.
I'm glad it was. Well, the
Think about it
far
all
realm
weekend.
does not care. That was the Archive's way of gaining your knowledge. Eat your brain and gain your knowledge. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you Mama Bear. Thank you Milty. Thank you Tiberius. Thank you Tabletop Junkie for stopping by. That was very nice of you. I really appreciate that. As well as a follow. That was very nice of you. I know you had to dip, but if you get a chance, I hope that you get the opportunity to rewatch this episode and maybe check out more of our stuff. Before we go, I just want to hit my social stuff. So make sure and let me just do one of these. Go over here to this thing. I'm going to slap my link.bio into the chat. That has all of my social links, the Twitch, the Twitter, the YouTube, the Patreon, Discord, God Mode Shop, Instagram. You can get all kinds of cool physical and digital merch through the Patreon, all kinds of cool physical swag on the God Mode Shop, rewatch episodes over on YouTube of our D&D shows, not only this series, but any of our past series. They all take place in the same homebrew universe. Discordian is going back through. She just watched Quid Pro Quo, where everyone was taken and pulled into the 10th Pit's realm where you were asked a series of questions, and it turns out that you were all not what you thought you were. That was a super fun episode. They really liked it. So make sure to go check that out. Stay up to date with my schedule as well as like giveaway news and stuff like that over on the Twitter. And of course, follow the Twitch if you enjoy the channel here. Give it a subscribe if you want to support it, or just use some bits and slap some stickers down. I really hope you had fun. I hope you have a safe night. Stick around if you'd like. I'm gonna, as we pull things to a close, make sure and send us over to one of my other D&D streamer friends here on Twitch so that you can get more D&D before the night ends. But as far as us, we are drawing to a close. I hope you have a fantastic night. Make sure and drink plenty of water, stretch your legs once in a while, stay safe out there. I know, like I said, COVID is hopefully kind of drawing to a close, but just stay safe and healthy. I want you nice and feeling happy and healthy so that you can come join our future streams. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I will be back Monday for some more bonus action to hit late game of Elden Ring and probably rage and quit and throw my controller through a wall. So thank you, everyone, for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody!
Bye.
I began to look through the instruction manual, and I see here how to cast magical spells and mage spells and cleric spells. And you go to the pages that it's listed on, in this instance page 41, and they have complete descriptions of how to cast spells and how to contact powerful spirits and how to use these spirits and these powers to overcome, obviously, evil or good, because there's both white and black magic in these books. We picked up another one to see if that was just coincidence, and it's dungeon magic here. And we look through again, and we see in here casting magic spells, page 22, with a complete description. And it says here, each wizard has mastered a certain type of magic. When you meet a wizard, he will give you 4 basic elements of his mystical studies. So we have a wizard now teaching the children of his magical studies. And then here it says, it is important to remember that the source of all magic is the life force of the user. This is the teaching of the occult.